Hello, people. Today I have a rather glaring and saddening confession to make, and that is that I've been calling this guy for the past few reviews. I'm not sure how many. The Hexa Gear Governor Knight type Bianco, and that's Bianco right there, which makes a lot of sense considering he's wearing white armor. I don't know how I convinced myself that this is the Bianco, even though he is the Nero. They are almost the exact same kit, base-wise. The model is. But I am very embarrassed to admit that I had made that mistake in at least the past 10 videos, probably more than that. And it's also kind of silly because I did review that kit as the Nero. I don't know what's going on in my head. But in any case, I'm going to now do a review of the actual Hexa Gear Governor Knight type Bianco. And that's this fella here with the huge sword. What a weapon. I personally believe that this is a better inclusive kit than the Nero, in the fact that you get a very simple weapon, just a big slab sword. It is very simple. It's only one piece. But look at this shield. This is pretty amazing. And it doesn't just hold on there. It is actually transformable, and I will show you that in a little bit. Another mistake there. This is made of 2 parts, not 1. But still, it's a very large weapon with a very simplistic design. Now, I wanted to go over some of the lore of the Hexa Gear universe. Not a lot here. I'm just going to let you know that the Senet side of things, if you remember from the last time I talked about them, that's the AI contending to control humanity by putting them inside of computers. It's not necessarily trying to control them, but it's trying to save them, and that's like its best thought process. I know, I'll put everyone inside a computer, and we'll be able to survive the apocalyptic wasteland that humans have made by overpollution. In any case, Sanet's side employs what are called parapon governors. These governors are various types, and they are upgraded in each system as they go along. The more battle experience they accumulate, etc., the more they advance through the ranks. Parapon would be the basis soldier, the very lowest, obviously being a pawn, but the armor type, knight, is an upgraded form of that. So this is a guy who is battle hardened. He's got experience. He's been through some battles. He's got what it takes to wear a heavier suit of armor, which, you know, is represented by the armor shield, the front plates on his chest, where a parapon would have a lot less armor. This guy is heavier duty. I'll show you some of the upgrades that they included for this guy versus a pawn in another video when I actually review the pawn. But with that said, that's what this guy represents. So he's not your ordinary run-of-the-mill soldier. He is someone who's really been through it, really done it up. It's a pretty cool little scenario, I think. So more experience equals better armor. You know, we get them out there, keep them alive by upgrading his suit. The Knight type are a really cool class of Hexa Gear Governors. You know that one of my favorites to size comparison with is the Nero. I was going to call him Bianco again. What a guy. It is a really nice looking suit, I think. It looks very knight-like. Really cool. This guy here with his upgraded shield, I think, is a really awesome extension of what these guys are capable of. The folding arm, which is the same as the Nero, is really cool. So you can move that around as you want. You can turn that over and slide it on forward, and it can go in front of him. Let's get this thing out of the way. Pull his hand off. There you go. So just wrap that from behind and in front. And now he's got a riot shield. He could still use his sword. I just had to remove that to wrap it around him. Or, just like the Nero, you can plug that in the front here and have that projected out in front. And as you can see, I wasn't going to show you this just yet, but as the separation factor on this shield is in play, you can either have it condensed here so he can hold it proper, or you can push it upward and have it expanded out so it does get taller. And yeah, these plastic bits, really sensitive to your knife, really sensitive to nippers, so be careful with those. They're easily marred. Nothing a little polish can't take out, but I did mar these ones up pretty good. They're very thin too, so don't crack them. You could tell it'll be a pretty easy thing to do, to mar these up really badly. But it does plug in just like that and make your shield that much taller, that much harder for your enemy to hit you. It also includes, let's see, take this one off. It also includes this little arm, so if you didn't want to use the other, you are welcome to use this guy here. And it is less flexible than the big one, but at the same time, it does include all the dimensions I think that you'd need. And you can also use that for him to hold on to. So you just kind of bend this out of the way here, and then he can grab onto that. If you don't like this one, because it is a little bit cumbersome, they do include this part, so it's more of a regular shield handle. Very simple, folds out of the way. If you want to use that peg for the large arm, I think this one's a better option for you. Just keep that out of the way. The sword, like I mentioned, is 2 parts. So it's just one piece smashed onto another. Nice sandwich. You can hardly even tell that it's actually 2 pieces. It is really cool looking. So that's the seam right there. Very well hidden, I think. Very long, very tall sword. It would be at home on a 144 scale. But of course, because this guy is a powered armor set, he is more than capable of handling that big thing. And as I showed you at the very beginning, he can stand on his feet with that large sword and that shield mounted to him. So it is pretty cool that you can do that. Now, the eagle-eyed viewers here are going to notice that the hand on this one is differently colored than that one is. That is the case. I actually borrowed hands off of another governor because I lost these hands, the holding hands for the Bianco. That said, I do have lots of other hands. Most of the kits, they come with tons of them, but I did lose this one's in specificity. So I had to grab it off the first one that I opened up, and it just happened to be that they weren't the right color. Still, it doesn't look too bad. It's hardly noticeable. So that's something to be said about the interchangeability of these things. So on the subject of the Knight type versus the Parapon, this chest plate is replaced with a different version that has that neck guard. The crotch armor here is completely different. The backside is similar, but the middle section is a lot bulkier, so you have something protecting his midsection, whereas before it's more exposed. The legs are the same, but the knee covers are different, and the feet are different. I'll show you what's included. So in the starting from the top, your armor set looks more like this on the Parapon, which is, these parts are included in this set, so you can swap those out if you really want to. But the Parapon, again, is a weaker unit, so I would stay with the ones that they include with that heavier armor, but it is included. It also includes the back and front parts for the crotch. So that's the back plate for his little booty, and here is the front plate for the crotch guard. It also includes the standard feet for the Parapon. As you can tell, they're very basic. There's not much different going on with this one, but they do have the ankle guards. And they aren't the same shape. Just a slight upgrade there on the foot armor. The last thing they include, and I want to call this kind of an extra, and you'll see why in just a bit, is a little tiny piece here. And this is just a 3mm to 3mm port, but with the hexagram style. And that, what it's used for in the directions, is to mount on the shield. And I think that's just so you can put it on his back. Nice and easy. And it matches with the hexagram very well. Just like that. So it's something just to mount that shield in a different way. You know, there's a lot of different ways you can put it, so why not have it in the back too? I think it works really well. Overall, I think he's a really nice kit. I really enjoy the white coloration of him. It matches with the Parapons really well, with the light purple color armor and the dark gray, along with the white, of course. It's a suit that really looks good. I personally prefer the Nero's coloration, but I do like the clean white. It would be nice to dirty these guys up, which is something I haven't done yet, something I want to get to. Again, always saying that, but it's true. I do want to get to these eventually, clean them up. And I think he's definitely worth a consideration. I think he's actually better than the Nero type in terms of what's included. You do get 2 guns in that one, but I think this shield, it really makes it. The sword, it's a bit over the top, but it's definitely a cool one. I'm going to actually pull out my Gundam real fast and show you what that looks like in a 144 skill. Kind of reminds me of Iron-Blooded Orphans almost. Now, the peg on this one is a little loose, of course, on a Gundam. The handle, I mean. But look at that. That's not bad. That looks like something he could actually use. Pretty cool there. But, you know, thickening that up wouldn't be too hard. You get some tape or some flat plate, and that'll work just fine. Slide that in there, and he's got himself a nice weapon. Pretty cool. And, of course, the size comparison. I don't want to do the whole thing because I actually use him for size comparison. But there he is with the Gundam, so you can see his height compared. Right, and I think that's all there is to it, to this guy. It's not a overwhelmingly different kit because, of course, we have seen the Governors before. We kind of know what's going on with them. The articulation is very nice on this one. I think his armored, bulked out look, I think is really good. Very Knight-esque with that nice helmet. Very cool there. And I think he is one that you should be on the lookout for. I personally got him for, I think, $30. I might have paid too much for him. I've seen them for less lately, but he's also getting really hard to find. So if you can find him for less than that, definitely purchase. $30 isn't a bad deal. I would definitely try to find him for less. If I can find him again, I would definitely buy him. Same goes with the Nero. But with all that said, I think we're good for now. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time, or you'll see me, but more than likely you will see my stuff. Have a good day.